I'm Charlotte Smith. I'm here with Congressman Pittenger, and he's going to tell us today about his platform and what all he is doing for us in North Carolina. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here again with you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. So, how's it going at Congress? Are you guys out right now? Are you out of?
Well, we're not out of work.
Right.
We're out of Washington,
Uh-huh.
and we spend a lot of time, of course, back in our districts and meeting with folks and understanding better how we can serve them and know their needs and concerns. We've been meeting all throughout the district with folks who are defense contractors and Farm Bureau people and Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development, Fayetteville State University, Chancellor, community colleges, sheriffs, on and on.
Right. So you just met with some people this morning in Bladen County.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
A lot of business people.
Right.
And county commissioners were there, the sheriff was there, and others. And I really want them to know what my views are and how I can better serve them in this region.
Okay. Did you get a grasp of what some of their major concerns are?
Yes, I think everyone is concerned about the dominant role of the federal government. People see the federal government is invading their lives and having too much power. And much of this power has been regulated, come through regulations in different legislation, whether it's the Dodd-Frank bill that has taken over the financial industry. You have small community banks now who are going out of business. They cannot service small business. 70% of the jobs in this country were started by small businesses, and yet they can't go to banks today to get those loans.
You're exactly right.
And so these agencies, the bureaucrats have been empowered through the Dodd-Frank bill, through the Health Care bill, the Affordable Care Act, the Unaffordable Care Act, Obamacare.
Right.
So, and then the EPA, there's so many ways that the federal government, we have two different worldviews in Washington. We have a worldview that says Washington knows best. They know how to manage our affairs better than we do. It's a very elitist mentality of governing. And then there are those who believe in the power of the individual and that the individual knows best. And too much now what we've seen is the encroachment upon the individual, upon the small business, by an overpowering, dominant federal government. We didn't become the greatest economic power in the world because of a great government.
Right.
We became the greatest economic power in the world because of freedom, because of opportunity, because of liberty. And when I go to Washington and I go vote every day, and I walk up those worn stone steps of the Capitol and I look at that dome and what that dome represents to America and the rest of the world, it represents freedom, liberty, and opportunity. And those freedoms are being encroached upon by an overpowering federal government. So our job is to remove that power. And we've passed legislation after legislation of reforms in the House of Representatives. Strong conservative legislation that restores the power back to the people. However, because of the rules in the Senate, they require 60 votes to shut off debate. It's called cloture.
Right.
Not understood by people that well, but you'd think, well, why can't the Senate pass it too? They've got a majority. They have 55 members. Well, in the Senate, the rule is that you can have debate and ongoing, and you can't shut it off and have a vote until you can get approval from 60 members of the Senate. Well, they can't ever get those last 5 votes in. And so we have all these reform bills passed out of the House that sit on Mitch McConnell's desk because he can't move them. Well, some people say, well, why don't you just change the rules in the Senate? Make it so they have 50 votes over there instead of 60. Well, that's historically been true for 200 years, tradition, but what happens politically, if you want to be pragmatic, you change those rules. This cycle, we have 24 Republican seats up in the Senate. There's only 10 Democrat seats up. So the Democrats could easily take a majority, or could possibly, very possibly take a majority. So you be careful what you wish for.
Right.
So there's a lot of issues we need to move forward. We've won a lot of battles. We've reduced spending, cut spending from the EPA. We've cut spending in significant amounts from the U.S. Treasury, from the IRS. We have funded our military, $600 billion in the omnibus bill. Now, there's never a pure bill. But that omnibus bill was critical for our military preparedness. Our preparedness levels were below World War II. All right? The Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, the Army. Preparedness levels below World War II. The Joint Chiefs said we have to have the funding, $600 billion. But in that omnibus bill was funding for Planned Parenthood. The egregious abuse of Planned Parenthood to dissect baby parts and sell them.
Right.
It's gross. But that was in the bill. We'd already voted 7 times to defund Planned Parenthood. North Carolina Right to Life came and said, vote for the omnibus. Don't make that the battleground for Planned Parenthood.
Right.
Vote for it. So I voted for it. Now, unfortunately, the way politics works, some people came and took advantage of that and said, I'm for raising the debt ceiling, I'm for Planned Parenthood. No, the issue is defending this country. And the primary, frankly, the only thing written in the Constitution of the obligation of the members of Congress is to defend and protect this country from enemies from within and from without. That's first base. If we don't get defend the country right, we can't do anything else.
Right.
So
those
are our issues.
What about the health care that you touched on? That seems to be a big issue with business owners and with just citizens being able to afford the health care. They said that it would be affordable, but it's not affordable, and it's actually increasing every year. The cost is increasing every year. Do you have a plan?
Absolutely, we have a plan.
On how to reform that?
Market-driven plan. Get the government out of it. You know, we need for insurance companies to be able to cross state lines to compete. You know, competition is what drives prices down. Right? You know, your deductibles are higher, your premiums are higher. Your access to get and see your doctor is not what it used to be. We don't have the patient-doctor relationship we've had before. So it's been an abysmal failure. And fiscally, it's not going to work anyhow. Because young people don't want to fund the plan. They don't, frankly, feel like they need it.
Right.
So economically, it's not working. And insurance companies are pulling out of even being involved in Obamacare. So, yes, we do have reforms. And the reforms are to open it up and make it a market-driven health care. Everything that we've had in this country, every improvement, the dynamic is open and free markets, competitive markets. You know, take laser surgery. Maybe 10 or 15 years ago, it used to cost $10,000. Today, it's less than $1,000. Why? Competitive markets.
Right.
Improve the product, drove the price down.
How would you have the citizens vote in November?
Thank you. Well, I'm Congressman Robert Pittenger, running in the new 9th Congressional District, which includes Bladen County. And I hope that you'll vote for me and give me the opportunity and the privilege of serving you. Prior to that time, I hope that you'll call me if we can be of help to you in any way, whether it's Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, veterans benefits, visas, passports, whatever your issues are, call us. Area code 704-650-1722. That's 704-650-1722. Thank you. God bless you.